Hello, this is a tutorial on how to make GUIs in Skript. So you'll be able to open a menu to the player and there'll be items inside that menu that the player can click on and stuff will happen when they click on it. So to get started, we need a command that will open the inventory. So I've just made one here called /GUI. And then to open an inventory to the player, you can use this code. So open chest inventory with 6 rows to player. This can be any number from 1 to 6. So this is the menu. If I get an item, I can put it inside it. Nothing happens though, and if I close it and reopen it, the items disappear. If you want to name the GUI, you can say named, and then let's say tutorial, and then it's up here, gold. You can use color codes and everything in here. You can also store inventories inside variables. So what we can do is set GUI to the chest inventory, and then open GUI to player. And then it works the exact same, but now we can do stuff with the GUI before we open it. So if I wanted to add an item inside the GUI, I can create an item. I'm just going to copy paste this in. If you don't know what this does, you should check out my last tutorial where I go over custom items. Yeah, and then we can put that in the GUI like this. So we can set slot 10 of GUI to item. This can be any number from 0 to 53, assuming there's 6 rows. The maximum number is less if there's less than 6 rows. Basically, the maximum number is the number of rows times 9 minus 1. Slots are a bit confusing where the first slot is slot 0. So actually, let me put that at slot 0. And then if I reload it, you can see it's up at the top. And then slot 1's here, slot 2 is here. And you can see the item. And I can take the item out or do whatever I want with it. If you don't want that, then we need some way to track if the GUI is currently open. So what you can do is before opening it, use this. And then if we reload it, what this does is it sets a tag on my player whenever I open it. And then we can check when we're closing the inventory. I'm just going to copy paste here. And then if the tag is tutorial GUI, send you closed the tutorial GUI. And then we also need to delete the meta tag. So if I reload it, and then when I close the inventory, it says you close the tutorial GUI. But if I go over here and I open it and close it, then it doesn't send a message because this isn't the GUI that we made. So doing stuff on inventory click works similar. So you just make an event, and then we can copy paste this code and you clicked to player. And this should probably have to player also. And then when I click anywhere, it says you clicked. And when I click an item, it does the same. What you can also do is check the slot that was clicked. So if clicked slot is 0, Oh wait, sorry, this is the wrong event. You clicked. So this will only run if you click the first slot, which is where we put the gold block. So if I click here, nothing happens. If I click here, then it says you clicked. If you don't want to be able to take the item out of the GUI, what you can just do is cancel event. If you're making like a shop or something where you'd want players to be able to put items in it, you'd want to check the clicked slot before cancelling the event. But for now, I'm just going to cancel every event. I'm just going to cancel the event for every slot. So now I can't take the item out. Okay, so that's a basic GUI. I'm going to show you how you could make something kind of like cookie clicker, just to give you a more advanced example. So I'm going to have a gold value here. This will store the amount of gold the player has, and when they open the GUI, if the gold is not set, then we'll set it to 0. And then when we click on the slot, what we'll do is add 1 to the number of gold they have. And then we also need to reopen the GUI so that it updates this variable here. So what I'm going to do for that is make a function called openGUI, which will take in a player, and that is of type player. So this, if you remember, this is the parameter, and this is the type of the parameter. You should watch my first video on Skript if you don't know what functions are. But basically, I'm going to copy paste all of that in here, and I'm going to fix the tabs. And then anywhere where it says player, I'm going to use the variable instead. That is one reason why I always put send to player, so that if I have to move the code out of a command into a function, it's a lot easier. And then I'll just call the function here. And then down here, I'll also call the function. And if I reload it, and then I open it, I've got 0 gold. If I click it, it doesn't update. Okay. Let me try and fix this, and I'll cut back once I've figured out what the issue is. Oh wait, no, I don't need to. It's just that I had all the code indented in this if statement, so make sure you don't have that. So I've got 1 gold, and if I click OK. So what we'll do is put this set tag after and then 8, 9, 10. Okay. So yeah, I had a few issues there, but I hope me having those issues just gave you insight on how I debug things, and hopefully you'll be better at debugging now. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.